Yes, my hair is laid, pressed. I'm just so. I feel brand new actually. I got my hair flat pressed last night. It was blown out, then it was flat ironed. But I'm just happy. And this is natural, of course. So, it is possible to have 4C natural hair and still get that, straight look that you're used to when you have perms. But I wouldn't recommend putting a lot of heat onto hair. Let me scoot up because I don't really like all this leg showing. But anyway, from my last video, I reviewed Where Children Play. I think that is what it's called because I believe I said Where Children Are, but it's actually Where Children Play. I left off with talking about the abuse Tiana Paris's character went through and what her older sister went through before killing herself. It was at the hands of their father, who is now dying of kidney failure or something like that. His kidney failed, so now he has to be watched 24/7. Tiana Paris is forced to take care of him, even though Macy Gray essentially is his sister-in-law who also has to watch him. But she's basically like, well, I'm not his daughter and he's not my father, so I'm not responsible to him. And I just feel like, Macy Gray, you are an asshole. Macy Gray she was a complete asshole in the film, and I know that she plays a lot of assholes in movies, but I just wanted to smack the shit out of Macy Gray because I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna sit here and let this young woman take care of a man who was not shit? And when I say he wasn't shit, I mean he was not shit, to the point where you honestly had to pray to God to redeem this man because he had done so many foul things. He raped Tiana Paris's mother, as in his own wife. He raped Tiana Paris's sister, who was actually his niece, because he and his wife adopted that girl from Macy Gray, who had her by a white man, but they didn't want to claim her. They didn't want to take care of her, and she had money, so she really didn't just feel like taking care of the child. So she just let her sister raise her as her own child, which I feel is a little bit problematic. How so many women are vilified for like giving up their child so they can have a career and have money, but men can just have all this money and not be responsible for children. But women are expected to give up on their careers as soon as they have a child because it's like we are all meant to be mothers. I may be meant to be a mother, but not all are meant to be mothers. And that's okay. That's all right. Anyway, I left off talking about rape culture in the black community, where black girls are often called fast-held girls because older men are looking at them, looking at their curves, looking at their, figures, looking at, their, just anything that they find sexually attractive on girls that they really shouldn't be attracted to. The older sister slits her wrist after being raped and telling her mom about it and not being believed. So Tiana Paris finds the dead body of her sister in a tub. It's very graphic, and throughout the film, the ghost of her sister haunts her, and the makeup is pretty disturbing. Like she's pretty pale. Her eyes, are like bloodshot, and like there's like pink under it. So like, just a heads up, a trigger warning. If you are thinking about watching this film, there are dead children imagery. There are a lot of imagery when you like think of dead black girls, or like black bodies being harmed. It's in the film, and it just really like comes at you towards the end. And I said, this is too much to handle, and I really wanted to cry, but I couldn't cry. It was very sad. What I found to be really sad was a flashback sequence where the father, who seemed normal at the time, was pushing the girl on the swing, and his wife was pushing Tiana Paris on the swing, and they seemed like a happy all African American family. You know what I mean? Like good times. You know what's happening. That ideal family from the 1970s of like how you wanted to be raised. As an African American child. That all African American family. I'm going to coin that phrase, the all African American, not the Bill Cosby type. No, I'm talking about, your good times family, struggling on the come up, but you getting by and you healthy and, you have a loving family. That's my ideal of an all African American family. I almost cried because that could have been it, but he was just a terrible person. And it's very hard to sympathize with this guy, but it's very hard to want him to suffer and to die. You know what I mean? Because there is a scene where Tiana Paris almost kills her father, but then she backs out at the last second, and it was a pretty tense scene. I'm not gonna lie, that was tense as hell. Like she's like raising this knife, and we're like, oh my god, just do it, like just do it, like please just do it. If you're gonna do it, just do it. And then she doesn't do it. She screams and he groans, but she stabs aside the bed. I laugh because I was like, that was tense. I love tense scenes like that because like if a scene can make you laugh after the fact that something bad may have happened, that's pretty tense, like that it was a laugh of relief because that shit was tense. But there were times where you just felt like this man, should just die because, like I said, rapists, pedophiles, abusers just should not be given any sympathy. But I think we are looking at it from the perspective of a young woman who couldn't really come to terms with her father being the horrible person that he truly was. And one thing I found a little bit off was that when he confronts her as a young girl, he touches her but in an affectionate manner. He like touches like the top of her head and kind of like strokes her, but not in a like violent way. And I didn't buy it. I didn't buy that he would, rape and molest this light skinned biracial girl and leave the dark skinned girl alone, his dark skinned biological daughter alone. I mean, I buy it in the sense as in that's his biological daughter and he felt in his mind he couldn't touch her, but I don't buy it that all these light-skinned mixed girls are abused in these black homes and a dark-skinned girl is strong and has to protect her and they are just left alone. I didn't buy it. I didn't, and I won't buy it because let's be real, like this type of stuff happens all the time to dark-skinned girls, but how many narratives are we hearing of dark-skinned girls getting abused? And let's be real, dark-skinned girls of color in general are more likely to be abused and raped than light-skinned girls of color. Light-skinned women of color are less likely to be harmed and abused than dark-skinned women of color. All women of color are less likely to be abused than white women. That's how it is. So I find it problematic when we do talk about issues in the black community surrounding rape and pedophilia. We always look at it from the lens of a light-skinned mixed girl, and I feel that is dangerous because what that is telling me, it's telling me many different things. It's telling me that light-skinned girls are the prime victims of intraracial violence because they are light-skinned and perceived as pure and pretty and attractive, which is false because rape has nothing to do with being attracted to someone. It's about power, it's about humiliation, it's about violence. It's violent. It's violent. There is a rape sequence where the wife is raped by her husband. That was not love making. That was not anything considered, sex. It's not sex. That's like sitting there saying that, oh yeah, punching someone is caressing. No, That's, different. There's caressing someone, and then there is punching someone and physically violating them, like with, rape. Rape has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with love making. It has nothing to do with fucking. It has everything to do with violence, violating someone. So I talk about this because in Light Girls, one woman who's not even very light skinned, she's actually about my color, maybe a little bit darker. She said along the lines of, the reason why I was raped was because I was light skinned, and the disadvantage of being light skinned is being considered pretty and attractive, and people just want you. But a lot of light skinned girls go through abuse because of the fact that they are considered the pretty girls of the community, which is bullshit. I call bull. If you notice, it's mostly dark skinned girls who go through abuse, but they are either called fast tailed girls, they are browbeaten into silence, or if they do tell someone, no one believes them because a lot of us are told, oh, you're not really harassed, he's not really doing anything to you, you just want attention, you want to look like you're desirable and attractive. I would tell my mom all the time, Mom, I don't like going out to clubs or parties where, I am wearing these cute little short ass shorts and guys want to look at me. I think it's perverted. And she's like, Kara, I think you just want that attention. And I'm like, what, Mom? What? I don't understand. Like, you know, I feel we should be able to wear however we want, versus, just being told not to wear certain things that we love, in order to avoid abuse. That's not how that should work. I have family members, aunts, even cousins that say, if you wear certain things, don't be surprised when men want to grab you on your ass. And I said, then don't be surprised when I slap the shit out of them. Because if they touch me without my consent, that gives me permission to touch them without consent. I'm going to smack them across the face. If you touch me or say anything lewd or do anything that I feel is violating towards me as a person, I'm going to hit you. I will. So if you touch me and grab on my ass, do not be surprised when I will slap you back, because I have slapped every gender for touch me. I have pushed girls away. I have pushed everybody away. It does not matter. Don't you touch me without my permission. But like I said, with rape culture among black girls, I feel if we are going to have this discussion about it, we need to intersect colorism and fetishism upon dark skinned girls, because people are so quick to say, yeah, light skinned girls are fetishized. No, let's be real, light skinned girls are glorified in the black community. Some of them can be sexualized and objectified for that, and a lot of men may feel as if they are entitled to light skinned girls. That's why you got people bitching about light skinned girls not texting back or not responding to creepy ass emails. And I know for a fact some people say that shit about me. But you know what? Do I care? Because that's an all black girl thing. If we don't want to accept advances, we aren't going to just respond to you. No light skinned girl is obligated to talk to you just because you got a color struck preference for her. No. And there are guys that would literally try to talk to me on some colorist bullshit, and I find it funny because I'm like, bitch, you are barking up the wrong tree. You don't know what the fuck I do. You don't know who I am. So get away from me. That's really annoying, because I'm like, yeah, we can talk about how, being considered light skinned as a black woman or woman of color, we're looked at as, okay, you're black, but you're the good type of black, or you're close to white, or you're our ideal of a Eurocentric preference, but too bad you're black because you're a little bit tainted. That's where the fetishism comes in. But I don't believe interracially light skinned girls can be fetishized. I believe they can be sexualized and objectified as black women, because misogyny lets people know that all black women's bodies belong to black men. I believe that can happen. But when we are talking about colorism, we shouldn't say dark skinned girls are slandered while light skinned girls are fetishized, because it makes it look like both women in the situation are the victim, where there's only one victim, where a dark skinned girl is called a roach. She's told that she can take it up the ass, and that, she should be wanted for everything. and a light skinned girl is called beautiful, pure, and innocent and easier to deal with. That's not fetishism. That's just this ideal that the lighter you are, the more beautiful and wanted you are. Dark skinned girls are fetishized by saying, you know, you can have, all the sex you want with people because, you are really good at it. You got a nice ass, but as a, dark skinned girl, we can't wipe you up. That's what fetishism is. So to conclude this whole review, which wasn't really a review, it was just a commentary on the subject among the film. I did feel like there needs to be open discussions on colorism, how that how that intersects with rape culture among Black girls, how there are dark skinned girls who are raped and abused in their own homes, and I'm not saying I want to see that in a movie like Where Children Are. I do not want to see a dark skinned girl or any Black girl go through that. But if we are going to show that, let's be realistic and let people know dark skinned girls, do commit suicide. Dark skinned girls are raped and violated, groomed by all these men. And it's like we can't ever sympathize with dark skinned girls, but we are so quick to sympathize with, a light skinned mixed girl. And I feel that's the point when Black people or Black media wants to talk about Black women being harmed. It's from the perspective of a Black woman who is considered beautiful, conventionally attractive. And when I was first going into feminism, I felt as if slut walk was problematic because why are you showing all these white women saying that they are victims of rape when there's hardly any women of color speaking, especially Black